What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while. It's been like, what, a month since I've made a video. But today, I really just wanted to talk about my state of mind with collecting, where I'm at, kind of giving you guys an update, but also hitting some pretty heavy topics that have been on my mind, especially within the past, like, 2 days. Literally sparking interest and inspiration from, you know, other YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff like that. So, yeah, I want to get into that, but before we get started, I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. I hope you had a great time with all your family and friends, had plenty to eat, had some good laughs and some good memories. If you watch football, if that's your thing, I hope you all had a great time. Hopefully nobody was arguing over which team was better and whatnot. But anyways, here we are. It's Black Friday. I'm doing most of my shopping today online. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I'll be going to any stores. It seems like everything that I need to get for my people, I can do online, and that's a blessing. That's one good thing about technology now. Anyways, today I really just wanted to talk about. I don't know how I can narrow it down to like one topic, but basically my viewpoints on collecting as a whole, and kind of give you guys a journey through my crazy thinking in my sporadic brain, because it's definitely something that I think other people struggle with. Other people might think the same way I do, and I'd be really grateful and thankful if you would share your experience in the comments, because I think other people might need to hear what you have to say. And not only that, I think it could honestly help them. And the reason why I say it like that is because collecting can get out of hand. Okay? You can spend too much money. You can literally become a hoarder. You can I hate saying it this way because it sounds so corny, but it's probably possible. You could ruin relationships, by getting too deep into the game. And also you can lose time. And when I say lose time, like if you're so focused on collecting, finding the best deals, or hunting for other stuff, I mean, you spend your time how you want to. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just if you spend so much time doing all these things, you miss out on other things in life. Okay? Not saying that it's bad to go toy hunting or bad to go online and browse and, see what's available. But, if you spend too much time, you can miss out on some really good things. Family time, music, I don't know, food, going places, traveling, all types of things. We can go on for hours. But, every single thing you do, every moment you spend in your life, you're trading off for something else. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it that way, but that's just the way it is. I could be outside running, exercising, but instead I'm on my phone making a video because that's what I want to do right now. That's just how we are. Okay? But with that being said, collecting can be dangerous. It depends on how much you let it affect your life. Okay? With me, I find joy in collecting. Now, is it my only source of joy? Absolutely not, because if it was, I would be one miserable person. Because if this was my only source of joy, these are just objects, materialistic things. You know what I mean? And as much as I love these figures and collectibles, I could easily do without them, right? Now, would I be a little sad if I got rid of everything? Absolutely. But I don't need it to live, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you need relationships, you need friends and family. That's the kind of stuff that you need to really bolster up your life. You need people in your life that support you, people that love you, and people that you can count on, and just hang out with. Because if we're being dead honest, time spent with others is better than time spent with nobody. And, there are times where you want to be alone and, you want to have your peace. And I think that is very important to everyone's life. Everybody needs some quiet time or that form of escapism. And, this is one of my forms of escapism. For some people, it could be cutting grass or carpentry. I don't know. For some people, it could be yoga or going to the gym or, heck, I don't know, playing video games, watching movies. And you can have all of these things be your forms of escapism. If you're like me, you have multiple forms of it, whether it's video games, movies, action figures. Gosh, the list just goes on and on. But, it all has to come in waves. You can't just put all of your money on one thing. You just can't. Okay? And especially with this economy, it's like, do I want to buy every new Hot Toy? Do I want to buy every new G.I. Joe Classified or every Star Wars Black Series? Abso-freaking-lutely. But do I need them? No. And I've always cherry-picked because not every character I like or not every character I would want as a figure. But if I see them on clearance or at Ross or whatever, what do? I buy them anyways. So that's going to lead me right into my next point is from a TikTok that I watched this morning. And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he made a very good point. He said, just because something is on sale or on clearance or you buy it at a great discount doesn't mean you're saving money. And obviously, you're probably like, well, duh, you're stupid. But no, like, I understand. Like, you are saving, more money than you would have for paying for, let's say this shelf here was $80 and I got it for 40. I got it half off. It's like, yes, I saved myself from spending $40 more, right? But I still spent $40. So if I'm trying to save money, I'm not doing a good job because I still spent money to get that. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that you're not saving, right? Because you're absolutely saving. I'm saving myself $40. But if I'm telling myself I don't need to spend money and I go out and spend money anyways, regardless of the amount, I'm still spending money. And, that's kind of where I'm at now is that's how I'm trying to think about all of my purchases. Because as much as I love my waves of figures that came in through September and October, I have really toned it down because I just can't go out and do that all the time. You know what I mean? And I know some people do, but like I have plans. I want to move out, get a new house. I want to get a new home. I'm getting married, so I got to pay for wedding stuff. I'm going on a honeymoon, so that's a trip. There's all different types of things that we can spend our money on. So it's like, do I really make this a main point? Do I make it a goal to collect all these things? I have in the past. I have. And, whenever you compare it to major milestones in your life, like a home, a vehicle, a relationship, things like that, building a family, this stuff becomes secondary, okay? And I'm not saying that I always made this first. It's just because, throughout certain moments in my life, I never had that until now. So it's like now things are changing, so my thoughts on collecting are changing. You get what I'm saying? So really what it all comes down to is budgeting yourself and really buying things you really like. Because I see so many people just buy things just to buy it. And what do? A year or two later, they sell it. Okay? And they don't recoup what they paid for it. Even if they bought the figure on clearance and, this figure's worth $80, whatever. It's all about finding the right buyer too. Hardly ever do you make money on something you bought. Hardly ever. And, it's, I don't know. It's very difficult because there have been moments where I've thought like, hey, should I just go sell all of these? Should I just go sell all my figures? But then part of me is like, nah, man, you can't do that because you spent so many years, building up this collection. This is what you dreamed of, is having shelves full of Star Wars figures. And that's great, but it doesn't make me less of a fan if I don't have the figures. You know what I mean? it doesn't make me less of a fan for actually wanting to sell something. You know, it doesn't make me a better person for having more figures than other people or less than other people. But, you know, there's so many things that go in my mind. Like, somebody commented on Just Incredible's videos. Shout out to Just Incredible. That dude's awesome. I love his viewpoints on a lot of things with collecting. He's very, very straightforward, down to earth, and he's cool about it. And he gives me really good explanations on why he says what he says. So shout out to you, man. You are the GOAT. But somebody commented on one of his videos. They said one of the hardest things about collecting, and I'm paraphrasing here, one of the hardest things about collecting is, acknowledging that less is better for display. And that's so true. So, like, you see all those G.I. Joes right there? I can make a way better display with 10 figures rather than 40 on that shelf. And that makes so much sense because I can pose them. I can do something dynamic. I can put things around them to, you know, to build an environment. But now, all of those figures are just like this right now. They're just on top of each other. And it's the same thing with my Marvel Legends shelf and my Star Wars shelves. I mean, I have some of them in poses, but not all of them because they're so crammed. I don't have space. You know, and that's a problem. So it's like, whenever you move into a new apartment or a new home, don't just think, oh, how big of a collection can I build here? No, think of like, what do I want here and how much of it? Because you have to work with the space that you have. And the space that I have is not built for everything in here unless I put up more shelves or move crap out of here. Just being honest. I mean, it's kind of hard to come to that realization because, you know, as a collector, you want to keep getting more because there's so much out there right now. There's literally so much out there. Like, there's stuff from years prior that I still haven't, like, purchased that I wanted. But that doesn't mean I need it. You know what I mean? And especially in this day and age, we have so many reissues and re-releases. It's like, what's stopping Hasbro or Mattel or whoever making the same thing 2 years later or improving on it? You know what I mean? It's really crazy. And you know, if you saw my video a long time ago before Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime came out, I basically made a point in that video. I was like, I am perfectly fine if I don't have that Optimus because I think the Earthrise Optimus is still amazing. And he's only $50 compared to $90. I paid $40 more for a slightly larger Optimus. And yes, 86 Optimus looks beautiful, but do I need him? You know what I mean? That's the type of questions I want to ask myself now. Because it's like, yes, I love all the NECA Turtle stuff. I don't have really anything outside of the 4 Turtles and Casey. But I got those versions because those were my favorite. You know, I got the 1990 Turtles and Casey because I love that first live action movie. And yes, is it awesome to get all of the cartoon Turtles and the comic Turtles and the Last Ronin? Yes, those are all freaking awesome. But do I need them? You know, that's what I'm really getting at right now. Because, you know, right now the craze with Turtles is those 2012 Turtles from that show. And they're selling out everywhere. Nobody can find them. So is it actually people that want them? Or is it people that are going out to buy them so they can resell them? You know, and it's probably a good bit of both. Because a lot of people have been asking for those. But would I like to have them? Absolutely. But do I need them? No, because I'm perfectly fine with those 4 Turtles. And they've re-released them in 2-packs and multi-packs over and over again because they're so good. Like, what's stopping them from making 20 more Cobra Commanders? What's stopping them from making 20 more Iron Mans? Absolutely nothing. You know, and I know that there are slight improvements over time. Like, for example, I still have my War for Cybertron trilogy Megatron. He's great. I love that figure. I know people hate it because they've used the mold 10,000 times, but like, I don't need an 86 Megatron. And yes, he looks great. He looks phenomenal, but do I need it? The answer is still no. I have a great looking Megatron. And that cost me, what was it, $30 back in the day? I say back in the day, but it was like what? Oh my gosh, it's been like 4 or 5 years since that figure came out. Oh my gosh, now I feel old. Anyways, I paid $30 for that. I'll have to pay $55 for the new Megatron. You know, and they're roughly the same size. So that's kind of where I'm at now. You know what I mean? I love collecting. I love action figures. I love the game. You know what I mean? But at what point do I say stop? At what point do I say this is enough? At what point do I shift the focus? Do I move stuff out? Do I change things around? You know what I mean? I think those are the questions I'm asking myself now, because there's no rhyme or reason with my collecting. I mean, there is. Like, I buy what I like. But what I'm saying is I don't have a certain focus on a line. I don't collect just G.I. Joe Classified. I don't collect just Marvel Legends. I don't collect just Transformers. I don't collect just Black Series. I like all of it. And I could easily just do without all of them. But I don't want to do that because it's something I enjoy. You know? So, really, the question I would ask for you is, what are the things that you really enjoy, and what are you willing to spend to get it? Okay? And then from there on, you can formulate some type of plan, incorporate it into your budget, into your space, and make something that continues to bring you joy instead of something you'll regret 6 months later. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess that's all I'm going to yap about today. I know that's kind of a weird topic for me to go into this rabbit hole of, you know, this crap. But I just felt like I just feel like I need to talk about it. And let me know if you feel the same in any way, shape, or form. Let me know if your collecting game has changed drastically, especially with the economy. And let me know how you feel. Let me know if you're still hooked on action figures and collectibles. Let me know if you're not. I'd really be interested to see what you guys say. But with that being said, I hope you all have a great one. And remember, stay frosty.